After a long month, I'm back, and with another Harmoe video. The reason I haven't posted is because I was working on another vid, only for it to get copyright blocked. Aww. But to be fair, I only made it because I was afraid my audience would get bored, and so I didn't want to just post Harmoe vids over and over. Though the truth is, I want to post Harmoe vids over and over. So today we're going to talk about the single that made me start the series in the first place. My Pasty Mermaid. Theme? The Little Mermaid. Before I get into the MV, I have some good news. They finally added subs to their MVs. Yay! This will be helpful for the singles after this because fan translations for those are few and far between. All of these MVs are translated except Happy Candy March. What happened here? Why all but this one?
No. Yes. No.
Why? Why won't you translate Happy Candy March? Because Happy Candy March killed my grandma, okay?
Now leave me alone.
My uncle broke his neck listening to Queen once. Tangent aside, MV time. They did a good job selling that it was sunny, because I honestly didn't know they recorded these parts on a rainy day until I watched the making of video. Maybe I'm just dumb because they're very clearly holding umbrellas, and you can even see rain behind Haruki in these shots. Hey, what are you looking at? Yeah, you better run away. Instantly, this MV is an improvement. Not that Kimago to Tic Tac's MV is bad, but at least they're near what the story is talking about this time, and not just running around getting into random shenanigans. These shots where they're supposed to look like they're underwater are really pretty to me. I've always loved the reflected light that waves cause. Is it bad that I know nearly the entire choreo to this song and I can dance it by memory? Once again, from the MV alone, you can't really tell where the connection to the Little Mermaid is apart from the setting, so let's get into the story. As it was previously, it took a bit to decipher on how I can fit this into the original fairy tale, which is really quite dark, mind you. One connection I was able to make was their need to get out of their current environment. Though it's the opposite of where the mermaid wanted to go, them wanting to go into the sea, the mermaid wanting nothing than to leave it. Also, I'll be referring to Ariel as the mermaid because she doesn't have a name in the original, fairy tale. So I'm just going to call her the mermaid / the Little Mermaid. I'm just a side note. Also, because this is Harmoe's best case scenario, these mermaids don't need witches or princes, the two things that ruined the Little Mermaid's life in the original. I also love the little reference to the evening star the mermaid saw when she rose to the surface for the first time. Though, the one thing that confuses me is more romantic lyrics like this. Because they already wrote off princes, which brings me to Make a Pearl. Make a Pearl is very clearly supposed to be a romance song and starts off with these lyrics. On first glance, one may think the song is from the prince's perspective, and I suspected that too before reading the story, but I don't think that could be the case, for these lyrics are specifically explaining the mermaid's experience, stuff the prince couldn't possibly have known, like wanting to see a new world, the nights of sadness she felt when she realized that the prince knew nothing of her existence, and even the subtle referencing of the stabbing pain she would experience with each step. But, as you saw, this song starts off with Lady. Gay Little Mermaid? It would make sense if this was a lesbian take on the story with lyrics like these. like they took the line, and for a moment her heart felt quite gay, seriously, and I'm here for it. Even if this isn't a lesbian take and I'm reading it wrong, Moaka's saying,
Hey, don't you want me? Feel so high in the sky. Weak point は私が一番わかってるって思う
is not invoking heterosexuality within me. With Passport, it's kind of another romantic-themed song, though still has references to the original story, like more references to the first sights the Little Mermaid saw rising out of the water. I find it funny the references to speaking, considering how that went out. Also, there's this little homage to the Mermaid's Garden. Once again, the romantic lyrics are frustrating me. Like, that's cute and all, but who are you talking about? I'm not sure who the main character in this version's love interest is, and it's confusing me very bad. But I guess as we saw in Kimagure Tic Tac, Harmoe's singles aren't what the kids would call canon compliant. I think that the protagonist of this telling of the story is just a normal person with a fondness for the sea, who wants to go into a world they can't quite reach, just like the mermaid. And they're a person who yearns for someone but feels guilty about it, and even now can't bring themselves to change their relationship from how it is at the moment. I like the sect in the lyrics. Hope the analysis is somewhat correct. The running theme of this album is its use of water sound effects, such as bubbles, waves, and splashing. The title track's lyrics are actually written by Susuko Mimori, Hikari's VA. She was the first person Haruki and Moaka told that they'd be starting a unit together. As soon as she got the news, she wanted to write a song for them one day. Validly, they thought, oh, She-pop means like later on into her career, not anytime soon. But no, it was second single soon that she wrote lyrics for them. The song itself is very cutesy and fun, very summery. It sounds very different from how solemn the other songs sound in this single. I believe they used the stereo drums here in the beginning because if I remember correctly, Under the Sea from the Disney film included those. I think it's cool that they use inspiration from the film soundtrack. Make Her Pearl is one of my favorite Harmoe songs in general. I love the softer sound to it. My favorite part is how they sing this part of the chorus an octave higher than previous times. Something about it satisfies my ears. This song has the most subtle ocean sounds, the main ones being these soft waves throughout. Also, there's this like air horn noise in it. If I think about how it's a random ass air horn noise too long, I start laughing when I hear it. Just burn. I can't wait for the next Harmoe single to have a silent vine boom. Passport, to me, feels like the perfect deep sea song. The sound effects throughout really sell the vibe for me. The use of the gita almost gives an impression of sea life around you, but I think the bubbles at the beginning set the scene very well. This song also brings back the muffled voice filter I like. I just really love this song. I'm glad I was finally able to talk about this single. As I said in the beginning, it was the reason I even started this series. It's not my most favorite single of theirs per se, but it's one I found myself coming back to a lot. The next single coming up, I have my gripes with it, but we'll get on to that in the video itself. See you guys next time. Love ya.